Alright everybody, welcome to the Riverside Stadium. As you can see there, Middlesbrough under 21s are taking on Birmingham under 21s at 6 o'clock just before the men's kick-off later on today. And I am going pitch side to do some photos and videos, so this will be the third game that I've done for them. I figured I would do like a vlog of the evening because I get a lot of people asking me about this anyway, so I think it could be interesting. But I also feel like it can be quite like a closed off sort of profession doing sport photography and videography, so I think it'd be kind of good just to see, like, you know, show off kind of what the process is, you know, how I do things and stuff like that as well. I'll talk a little bit more at the end of the video, like how to get into this sort of thing, what you need to do. We'll have a look at my gear soon as well, but the first thing we need to do is get over there, get the media passes and stuff like that, get my gear over there and get set up. So let's go do that now. There's a lot more people here than I thought there was going to be, which is cool. Yeah, if that's all right. Perfect, thank you very much. If I can get in, should be all right. We are in. Just got a ticket this time. Sometimes you get a proper pass. But yeah, it's always cool to see. Go through the kit quickly. We've got an expanding seat, so I have to sit on the floor. Got a monopod here with 3 legs at the bottom, which is very handy. That's got the GoPro on it for the video, wide angle, very helpful. And then we've got 2 cameras here. So I've got the 80D, which is the workhorse. That's got the 24-105, so that's for the close-up photos. And we've got the 5D, I think it's a Mark II, this. Yeah, so this is quite an old camera, but the quality is really good. And we've got a Sigma lens, 100 to 400 millimeters, so this is for the longer range stuff. This is the little necklace mount thing that I was just using for the GoPro there. So yeah, we're kind of ready to go setup wise. Just need to do a bit of white balancing in ISO before kickoff, but players aren't out on the pitch yet, so we'll sort that out soon once they're doing the warm-up. Right, lights are on now. So we'll readjust. Can probably drop it down a bit. Good thing is Lightroom denoise will save any image. Alright, so the coaching team are out now. A few of the players are out, the goalkeepers mainly. So I'm going to get some warm-up shots, make sure that my lighting is correct. Whatnot, it's a lot easier with the floodlights on. But one thing that's really important, which I found doing the under-21s games, is to get some warm-up shots. I mean, it's important at any level, but what I've found is, like, a lot of the academy players don't have a lot of photos of them, so you know, if they go on loan or something like that, they'll use these images. So it's nice to get them from my point of view, but it's good for the players anyway, especially because, like, the academy players, there's a lot of changing, you know, a lot of players come in and go out and stuff like that throughout the season. There's no real transfer window, so having like up-to-date images of them actually on the pitch and not just, you know, stood in front of a logo or something like that is really good. So if you wanted to get your photos out there on social media, then this is a very good way of doing it. I'll put a few on the screen now. So there's the Birmingham players coming out now. The Borough players will be coming out soon, so I'll get over there, get some shots. Dunno.
Hello guys.
Right, so now we take it over to Lightroom. I'll put all the photos in there and I'll kind of go through, start deleting ones that I don't like. One thing I will point out as well is, depending on the situation, what game you're shooting, how big of the game is, like if it's a cup game or something, you would probably edit the photos during the game, or at least edit some of the photos, send them over to the person working on media. That's happened a few times with the under 23s, under 21s, and also like the women's games. But with this game, the men's first team were playing straight after they were on TV and stuff like that. So this game kind of took a back seat to that. So we were told just to kind of edit and send them over at our own discretion. I'm not going to go into a full tutorial on how I edit photos because it's all down to preference, how you want to do it. For me, I just kind of go quite natural. I like to go quite colourful with it as well. But obviously that's going to depend on your style and what you're going to use the images for. So if you're using them for like graphic design, like social media posts, stuff in the programs and stuff like that, you would probably edit them differently. So that's always something to keep in mind. And the other thing to go for is kind of like the quote unquote story of the day. So, if there's something to do with like a specific player, the fans, the stadium, stuff like that, try and get images of that sort of stuff. Obviously, again, it depends on the situation. But I find, like for myself, and I see a lot of other people do it, like you want to kind of get like the full atmosphere of the day, of the match. So don't just think about shooting the football, shooting the goals, celebration, stuff like that. Think about other things that you can shoot, because like I was saying earlier in the video when I was at the actual game, you never know where some of these photos might turn up. So if you're someone, especially if you're just starting out, you're going to have more to work with in your portfolio. So once all the photos are edited, I'll send over the album either via direct transfer, something like WeTransfer or MyAirbridge, or I'll put them on like a gallery website like Flickr or something, and then people can go on and download individual photos themselves. So let's do a quick recap on what you need to do and things that you need to get into shooting sport. So first things first, like I said, reach out to smaller clubs, so teams in lower leagues, especially anything in like the National League and below, under 21s teams of even Premier League clubs. As you can see here, this is a championship team, so it's a decently high level. Women's teams, coaching academy, stuff like that, and even into other sports. Like I actually started out doing rugby for a local team, so that's how I actually got my foot in the door. You would be surprised at how much some of these teams are crying out for a photographer or videographer. Next up is kit. I don't think you need a lot of kit personally. In my experience, I do take 2 cameras with me, and I find that I pretty much tend to shoot on one. So I have a Canon 5D Mark II, which is quite an old camera. Cost me £150 on MPB. Still shoots incredible photos. It's my go-to, even though I've got newer cameras that are technically better. Still my go-to for shooting. Lens, you want something, I would say a minimum 100mm to 400mm. I think if you go any lower than that, you're going to start shooting yourself in the foot a little bit. And then if you want like a wide one, go for something like 15 to 105mm, something in that ballpark. Again, depends what you want to do. Having a GoPro or like a remote camera is also nice, but again, not 100% necessary, especially if you're starting out. You don't want to drop loads of money into something that you don't know if it's going to go anywhere. Software wise, Lightroom I think is absolutely great because you can just work through photos really quickly. You can like batch edit stuff. But if you don't want to spend money on it, there is free stuff out there. So just have a look around, see what works for you. Sometimes you can get away without editing your photos. A lot of the time when we send stuff over during the game, it'll just be raw because you don't really get a lot of time to, send over a photo, open Lightroom, start doing some edits to it. So again, depending on your shooting style, your kit, the situation, how good the lighting is on the day, stuff like that, you might be able to get away without editing it. So again, wouldn't worry too much about the editing software, worry more about shooting. Just one more thing before I end the video is, if you are trying to get your foot in the door, you might want to go the video route, because I find that there's a lot of photographers out there and a lot of clubs have photographers. I've been to some National League North games where there's like 7 photographers there and there isn't a single video person unless like I turn up. So it might be worthwhile, if you are trying to get your foot in the door, you have video capabilities, that you try that, because yeah, honestly, it surprises me how many photographers there are versus how many videographers there are. And photography is obviously great, it's extremely popular and like it's needed, but at the same time, especially nowadays, social media and stuff like that, you need video footage. So if you can film something, even if you do sort of what I did, if you take photos but have a camera just locked off, like, then you're getting the best of both worlds, and then you're becoming an even more valuable asset to whichever club that you're shooting for. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out quickly, that as much as some of these clubs need photographers, they need videographers even more. So if you've got any more questions or things you'd like to know, just drop them down in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer those.